back at KMC CrossFest. So many fun things to do here, but let's face it, it really is about the racing.
It's going to be a really exciting technical race that these riders are really going to have to think about where they're going and the lines that they're choosing.
But really, there's only 3 UCI junior races in all of North America, and this is critical for those juniors. The juniors would enjoy the prestige of the final race slot of the day on Saturday, day 1 at KMC CrossFest. That's because there are only 3 UCI races in all of North America, this being one of the most important races on the calendar for juniors. And win at KMC CrossFest, and you can pretty much assure yourself a spot on the world's team for either the US or Canada. But it would be Denzel Stevenson from Boulder Junior Cycling who would control this race. Both days, Stevenson would get off to a fast start. However, in day 1, he quickly got it down to a small group of challengers. His competitors were breathing down his neck. On Saturday, it would be Kevin Gogan from Race CF and Tyler Clark from the Killington Mountain School hanging with Stevenson for 3 laps before Gogan came off the wheel on Thompson Speedway's defining feature, the Wall of Death. Gunnar Holmgren, representing an entire family of Ontario cyclists who pride themselves on cyclocross, he's going to catch the group and the leader, but Stevenson would again open up a gap on the infield that nobody could match.
A ribbon of open, smooth tarmac can lead you just about anywhere your legs will allow. And today's riders know performance doesn't have to stop when the pavement ends. The tubeless Avion carbon disc wheel set is the evolution of performance road wheels. Wherever your ride takes you, Avion is the fastest way to get there.
On Sunday, Stevenson would again jump into the lead. But on this day, with a course that had been rolled fast and blown dry, the group racing came into feature. This pack of wolves would be on his wheels the entire race, and they would not give it up easily. For 5 laps, this pack would chase Stevenson around this course and at times vie for the lead.
Let's go, Kev. You got him. Get on that wheel. Stay on it. You're hitting the power injection. Get right on it. You got to get there.
In the final lap, Stevenson, Tyler Clark, Gunnar Holmgren all would hit the top of the steps above the track and bear down into the infield.
Come on, come on, come on!
But it would be Stevenson on the raceway who would win an exciting sprint finish for his second win at KMC CrossFest.
I've been at this a long time. I'm not a professional. I don't do it for a living. I'm just a guy who enjoys riding his bike. I like to get out there and race and push the bike hard. I definitely appreciate that I have a unique position within the industry. You know, I'm racing. I got to race Sven Nys last year, and at the same time, I'm crunching numbers in the back of a bike shop. About 10 years ago, I was teaching high school, and I decided to take a year off and work on my master's degree. And during that time off, a friend of mine was managing a shop that closed down, and I asked him if he wanted to go into business with me, and we decided to open shop together. From day one, when we started the shop, we wanted to have a shop that wasn't a typical bike shop. So when we opened the shop in Haymarket, we decided that we were going to have a shop that was completely open to everyone. As a teacher, in order to be a good teacher, in order to do a good job, I needed to make a real connection with the students. And while making connections was important as a teacher, it's also important in the bike shop. I feel like I can be the link between someone who is actually on the bike, on the product, using it day in and day out and testing its limits, and the customer who might only see reviews online. When they come into the shop, they can ask me questions, ask me about my experience on the product, and I can give them honest, real answers from my experience. I know the benefits of using, for example, a KMC chain. I know that I can pop that master link off, clean my chain, put it back on my bike, and go out and hammer on it another day and not worry about popping that link. Training's a lot like taking care of your chain. You can't just do it once in a while and expect results. I feel like I've been really lucky in my cycling career in that I started from, pretty much a complete novice. I was mentored along the way and really grew as a racer while developing my fitness, and I think that's something that's really lacking nowadays. So I had all this guidance from really talented riders, and then fortunately in the area where I live, I have been in contact with a lot of other talented riders, and I feel like I've been a connection between a prior generation and an upcoming generation. At the end of the day, it's important for me to make connections, enduring connections.